Today we are going to be taking a look at your Fortnite storyline theories and making them into a video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to the Lore Lab, the series on the channel where I ask you guys to jump into the Discord server, which is in the pinned comment description down below. We would love to have you there, and I have you guys drop down storyline theories, and we of course, like I just said, make it into a video. Guys, before we get into it, I do apologize. I don't know if my microphone right now is picking up an echo. My room is pretty much completely empty besides like my other monitor that you see behind me right here. So there is a huge echo when I'm talking. I'm probably driving my neighbors crazy right now. And everything will be back to normal on the channel probably towards the end of the week. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be in a new place, which is way nicer. I'll be quiet. I can yell at my games again. I'm excited, and we can go hard on YouTube. We can go back to the live streams. Everything's gonna be back to normal, so you'll have to stick with me. I drove back here. I left my setup back here at the apartment, and I just drove back here after work, and then I took a shower. I was like, oh yeah, we have no towels. And then I was like, oh, okay, we have no hair dryer, so my hair is still wet. I'm recording. This is gonna be a disaster, but still fun to make. Stick with me, guys. The channel will be back to normal towards the end of the week. I appreciate everybody sticking with me, by the way, because I'm going, I can't wait, man. I'm going hard on the channels. Anyways, let's get into your storyline theories for today. I have an interesting and a bit of a reaching theory here that suggests the teasers of Chapter 3, more specifically the Battle Bus ones, were hints towards the Triarchy coming in Chapter 4 Season 2. We started off Chapter 3 Season 1 being teased in a nice dawn morning picture with the Battle Bus in it to the ultimate ending of the chain of daytime teasers transitioning into dusk, which was falling into the night and darkness as evidenced by the paradise and its dark theme. Now, I bring this up as a what if those Chapter 3 teasers were to tease the story of the Triarchs in Chapter 3. Now, I said a bit of a wacky theory, but we know Epic likes to plan ahead, and maybe that's what those teasers were meant to tease, or I'm just looking at past teasers that don't mean much and way too much, excuse me there. I remember that, and I remember everybody like looking into this where it's like, okay, it's a little bit of a daytime pattern, but ultimately, while they could have been teasing this, like I don't think Epic Games does really like to hint like little things like this in advance, you know what I mean? But I don't think this is anything we really need to look at, but I mean, it would be cool if Epic Games came out and said, yeah, you know what, that's what we're hinting at. We're getting towards an eclipse. We're getting, like, the story's getting a little bit darker each time. It was just something that we wanted to do, but I don't think that's something that we really need to look into. Here's a theory I've been piecing together. Now, what if the Order of the Wanting Mood is a sub-faction of the Last Reality? That's a far stretch, and I know, but if you think back to earlier this chapter, there was a shapeless man who imagines a world of perfect order whom we've all assumed was the nothing itself. Now, fast forward this season, Slone is stating something coming with intent, and we know the eclipse is impossible on our island as it's something that never happened, and it makes sense to not be a realm of possibility. Well, I mean, the eclipse did end up coming. I know this theory's probably been dropped right before the season, but still, I do want to hear it out. I bring all this up to make a point of the Last Reality having strings everywhere, but another thing we know about them is they steal, analyze, recruit, and advance. So them sending a perfect scout team of thieves to invade and collect items for them to gain an upper hand in battle. So these people are coming to our island and they have intention, so we know in this story there's never no intent without it being bad. Now, these signals Slone has been recognizing may be that of the Last Reality, as she studied the tech after we took down the mothership with her back in Season 7. My final point here will be that of the Last Reality having strings that were never on our island in Season 7. The same path follows for our current visitors on this island. They have things that have been gone for a long time, just like the Last Reality in Season 7. It begs the question, how do they have these things? The being in Lexa and Orin's loading screen is someone who carries darkness with them and someone who maybe play a part in the next season, and given how early they were teased. Excuse me there. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there because, well, the eclipse did happen, and this theory kind of still stands, especially at the end, with that being in Lexa's loading screen, we do know is the Astrea crew skin, and that skin with the loading screen definitely has something to do with the Last Reality. It has to, you know? There's too much. I made videos looking into that specifically. If you want to go check it out, one of them was with PBJ. We did a great job doing that. It was a lot of fun, but man, so it's really tough to say because the only thing that was left out here was, of course, Kato Thorn, but we still don't know exactly who Kato Thorn is. We still don't know if it's just Kato Thorn causing the eclipse. We don't know if it's the Last Reality causing the eclipse. We don't know these things yet. So most of this theory is still intact. There might just be like a little, of course, it's just a couple little pieces that as the season has progressed, we know right now, but it's tough. Like, I am still on the Last Realities behind everything. We know the Last Reality plays a big part in the story. We know the Last Reality is coming back. They've been teasing it for so long. Astrea has to be part of the Last Reality. It's tough. It's tough. It's a really solid theory, but this is one of those things where we'll have to really just wait to see what happens. We know how the 0 point is petrified. Imagine the 0 point is calling the last reality on its own. You may be asking why, but it might be calling it so the last reality can break the 0 point free. Once the 0 point is free, could it possibly disable the cube cradle temporary like it did with the mothership in the fractured event teaser and rift everyone away to a new island that is safer and more protected against the last reality? A place where supernatural beings are the norm and mortals are out of place. Welcome to Olympus. Okay, that's really interesting because here's the thing where I'm stuck. Do we know that the 0 point's petrified? I'm not saying it's wrong. I just don't know if that was like, I know the 0 point, I remember something like this. Maybe it was in chapter 3, season 3. I don't remember. So if anybody could explain that to me in the comments down below, I would really appreciate it. But the problem with this is the 0 point the 0 point created the loop. You know what I mean? So this is all because of the 0 point. The 0 point would want to break free from itself. Is that what you're saying? So I don't know how that necessarily adds up. If it was petrified and we did know that, then that may very well be true. Maybe the 0 point can't break its own loop. I'm not too sure how that would work. But if the 0 point itself was calling the last reality, hear me out. Hear me out. I just thought of something. Astrea loading screen. We were trying to figure out, PBJ and I, why. So take a look at it this way. You have the loading screen, you have the 0 point version, which is the everything, the black hole, which was the nothing. That's the kind of the theory that we were going with about. What if, assuming that this is correct, it's a stretch, I know, but assuming this is correct, the 0 point character was inviting the last reality character into their world. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Why does that add up, dude? Why does that add up? Okay, like, yo, that's actually wild. I gotta tell PBJ that. My long theories have returned. Nolan, Chance, and Antonina have been revealed that they are working on a huge heist, which probably what happens within the cinematic trailer. And what if this huge heist was organized by Slone herself? Because in the quest, Nolan and Antonina are longtime rivals, so something like the state of the island is terrible would force them to unite as one. And whatever they are stealing has a big possibility of being the time machine. Or that's what everyone wants to think. Slone knows that she isn't a coward at all to leave the present to the last reality and go back to the past and live her life to the fullest. So the only thing that she needs is currently sitting in the vault present at Eclipsed Estates. And I'm assuming she finally got a contact to Jones, which led him to land onto the island. So perhaps this is where desperate move takes place to steal the item, which could possibly destroy the entire fleet of the last reality. The only question that remains right now, why hasn't Kato Thorne, who has a time-traveling vampire, used this material or item to destroy the fleet and take control of it for his desires yet? So this makes a lot of sense, this whole thing, but this is like I was talking about with a theory earlier in the video. This is one of those things where it's a nice theory. I can't really disprove it because I can see it coming true, but this is one of those where we'll just have to like really wait to see come true, because I have been thinking about making a video talking about I think what Epic Games is leading up to is going back in time. And this isn't, it's not like it's my own groundbreaking theory. It's something everybody was talking about, right? What Slone is probably going to steal and where she's going to take us is back in time, right? Way before chapter 1. And that's how we're going to get a mythology season, which would be really fun in itself, but I could see this theory really coming about. The leak suggests an open world event for chapter 5, and this is a very crazy take, but what if the story just ends in the chapter 4 finale? It's truly sad to end such a unique idea, but it would make sense that with that Jones along with Midas were able to successfully break the loop, and Slone alongside the new crew of heroes were able to destroy the fleet of the last reality and the nothing. Not to mention how Epic have worked with this event for over a year now. It's really going to be a huge roller coaster to see the full story come, to see the story come to a full circle. Because when the loop ends, everyone is free. You're not stuck against your will to fight others anymore. Basically, in other words, you achieve freedom outside the loop. I know it's highly unlikely for the story to end right now because of the Order Restored comics are being written and the season currently progresses, but the new IO doesn't have to be bad. Jenna only used the loop to stop the last reality so it won't get to the island. With the threat of the last reality no more, we can expect an Imagine 7 story to finish things off. Imagine 7 honoring the sacrifice of the Imagined in the New Order, which is united with the 7, assuming that the 7 return. That is a very interesting take, and I agree that it is a little bit on the crazier side because, again, this makes sense, but the problem is, I always point back to this, and I've been doing this more recently in my videos, with Tim Sweeney and his interview talking about Creative 2.0, he was asked about Battle Royale, and he laughed at the thought of Battle Royale coming to an end, which means the storyline, there's no way that comes to an end either, because so many people are invested in Battle Royale to watch the progression of the story. And what are they just going to do, have random updates? I don't think so. They're definitely going to continue the storyline. So While, I mean, it's definitely possible with the way you described it, but I don't think that's going to happen at all, to be honest with you. But guys, with that being said, that is all the storyline theories that we have for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you have a storyline theory that you want to share for a video, join the Discord, which will be in the pinned comment and the description down below, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who helped me make this video. Thank you to everyone who's watching. I will see you in the next video, guys, but if you want to continue watching the Clen channel right now, there'll be 2 videos on screen for you to check out. Again, I will see you either there or in the next video, guys. Take care.